For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in on your favorite podcast app. I mean, everybody's talking about the 20th anniversary of 9/11. I always find it weird to use that word anniversary because I associate the word anniversary with a celebration. And I mean, I guess in this instance, sure, we're celebrating the people is maybe the way to recognize it. And everybody has their story, right, of where they were, and we've told that story how many times to people, right? And I know that we usually generally have one of my nephew's birthdays around this time, and there's the different specials and the tributes and things on TV all day, and it seems like almost every year we end up putting it on, and people still tell the same story, and I kind of feel like everybody knows the story. Why is it coming to me, and I've got to tell it again? But it was such a huge moment in world history, certainly in New York City, that really impacted everybody. I mean, people were compelled around the world to just sit and watch and hope that people were going to, get out of there and survive, and people would find their loved ones. So, everybody always says that, our hearts and thoughts and prayers and everything are with you, and now people sort of laugh at that and go, well, that doesn't really bring me any solace. But certainly, it's a moment in time that we recognize. Obviously, we recognize that so many people lost loved ones, and it was such a tragedy. But it's something that I think helped bring a nation together. I mean, it's sort of weird, right, to sort of have that rebound and say, well, I mean, look at the good that came out of it, right? So many people found that they had other sources of love that they didn't even know about, and suddenly we're now being comforted by that. So maybe that's my not amateur, but looking in from the sidelines, right? I'm a Canadian, so for me it was a little bit different to be watching. I was a journalism student at the time, so I was fascinated by the news coverage of it all, right? I mean, I'm at the edge of my seat going, this is crazy, and then I'm sitting going, my questions are, where's the president? What's happening? Just like most of the journalists, if you've seen all the different specials and documentaries and things about it. So, all right, let's shift gears. We have got the music group All-4-One coming up. They are back on tour. They're also part of a new video game promo. We'll talk about that with the group in just a bit. And Bonnie Winters will talk about sex in the last 10 minutes of the show. What else do you need here on The Scribble, everybody? And it starts right after this.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
I think those of us from a certain generation danced to at least one of their songs at a high school dance. I Can Love You Like That, I Swear. I'm talking about the music group All-4-One, and they're back on the road, back making music, most importantly, back on the radio with me. Jamie Jones, Delius Kennedy are on the line. Hey, guys.
How are you doing? Hey.
I'm good. How are you?
We're hanging in there. Great. We're
good.
Doing well.
This is the thing. I was worried when I heard you guys were coming on the show. True story, my cousin had just found her old wedding video, and I was playing I Swear on the piano, and I thought, oh, you guys are coming after me for royalties 20 years later, but we're good though, right? We're good.
Hilarious. Dude, you play the piano, that's awesome. You're a musician, huh?
As a teenager, yeah, and then I got into the dark world of broadcasting, and well,
That's all right. I think he called us old at the intro, though. He's like a certain generation. I was like, I think he just called us old.
Well, myself included, though, right? I mean, that's the thing. But isn't it funny, though, how The music is timeless, though, and thanks to technology, video games even, I mean, your music lives on.
Hey, that's the great thing about music is, great music does have this extraordinarily long life. And, we've been very blessed to have a few of those songs that have, been able to last for a long time.
I mean, it's pretty cool to think that, as I mentioned, high school dances. I mean, some of us were probably dancers that now married and have kids, and now the kids know the music.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to the video games and thanks to the movies. I mean, every time that they put, I swear, in a movie with the Minions or something, our concert attendance gets a little younger. And we're like, they can't possibly have been alive when this song was out, but they're there and they're singing along to the song. So we're thankful.
I've got to ask you, because this seems to be the mandatory question coming out of a pandemic, right? I've got to ask every music artist, when you're not touring and you're not doing... I mean, how did you guys get through a pandemic and lockdown? What's it like being on tour? That question, you've been asked it a million times already. Jamie, do you want to answer that one?
Sure. Of course, being performers, you always miss the stage. And I'm a little different probably than the rest of the guys because I spend so much time in the studio when I'm not on stage. But even then, I still get, I get cabin fever, It's like if I'm in the studio for too long, I really miss the stage, and vice versa. But at the same time, I think all performers that love that, the energy that you get when you're in a room and there's just this agreement that, hey, you guys agree that you love these songs we're singing, and we agree that we love to sing them for you. And it's like there's just this great energy, and of course you miss that. You miss that. You can't get that feeling anywhere else.
And this is one of those things, Delius, you got to be honest here. Those Zoom concerts and everything, every artist that I've talked to has said, not fun, no. What do you think?
Yeah, not fun,
no.
Especially for us, not fun because it's kind of hard to do a Zoom concert when we're all four in different places.
Yeah.
And I've seen them when they have the little things going. I was trying to figure out how are they doing this without there being a delay on each of the things. But I guess it's more studio production than it is a live concert on Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, or they all just get in the same room, because they're okay being in the same room and broadcasting that way. And that part of it is fun, that you can, that you can be in the same room with the people you love and make music. But it's still not the same when you can actually look in the eyes of somebody and see their, the first few bars of I Swear starts, and you see that emotion pop up on their face. And you're thinking to yourself, I wonder why you're reacting to this song that way. Whereas when you just, when you are doing it, it's great that you can still share your gifts and hopefully make some people feel better, even if it is over Zoom or something like that. But as for the performer, it's just not the same energy.
Music, I mean, everywhere around the world was hit by the pandemic, and music is also everywhere in the world, and that's something that's really connecting all of us, right? We can all get through tough times thanks to music. So, Jamie, let me ask you then, what's the song that changes your mood? You're having a bad day, you're just, grumpy, whatever. What's your go-to song to make you happy?
It's so funny. I have a few of them.
Okay.
One of them, of course, is Isn't She Lovely by Stevie Wonder. My earliest memories of music include that song, and it just makes me happy. The other one is Take Me With You by Prince. That was me and my mom's song. Like, we would sing that at the top of our lungs. And it just brings back so many great memories of me and her going. I think she and I went to see the movie Purple Rain about 8 times. And, so those are probably the first two that I probably start with. And then, from there, I just get lost in music.
Yeah. Delius, what about you?
I think one of the things of mine, because there are a few as well, is Desiree's You Gotta Be. There's just no way to listen to that song and not smile and, sing the hook of that one. Anything from Michael Jackson's Thriller would probably do it. I like old school music, so even in the car, I'm in my Sirius XM, it's 80s on 8 or 90s on 9. Any of those things back then, put a smile on my face.
Yeah, now I've made a couple references to video games. You guys know where I'm going with this. Jamie, why don't you tell people why this is a big thing for you guys?
Well, because we were, I call our generation the first video gaming generation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really, like, with our generation is when it got really big. And so there's still a lot of us, I guess old cats, if that's what you want to call us, who still game and love to, just, hop in a video game. So, it's always really cool when, your music is featured in it. I know for me personally, I have 3 boys. And I'll hear them sometimes walking around singing songs, and I'm thinking to myself, how do you know that record, And they'll be like, oh, it's in this video game, or it's in that
Fortnite
video game.
Yeah.
Exactly. And not just Fortnite, though, in NBA 2K and a lot of the other songs. They have a lot of old school hip hop and R&B and all kinds of stuff. So it's just really cool, now that we are featured, with this Xbox campaign, because a lot of my son's friends are like, yo, isn't that your pops? And he's like, yep. He's got his chest out and his chin up. He's like, yep,
I mean, that's the funny thing, right? Because I know when we had, well, it's been a while since we've had a family get-together, but, the adults upstairs, the kids downstairs, we hear some kind of music. Is it rock band? Is it guitar? Like, we don't even know. We just hear music. And then all of a sudden, all of the adults come downstairs to watch the kids, and wouldn't you know it, who's now dancing around the room? It's the adults to the old music. And the kids are like, how do you guys know that song? Nah, that's from our generation, kids. It's kind of funny, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, trust me, my kids used to always ask me all the time if they heard me singing the Beatles. They'd be like, oh, Dad, when were you playing rock? When were you playing, what's the game? Rock Band? No, Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero, yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, what? And I forgot that I had gotten them, there was a Guitar Hero version that had, like, all the Beatles music and stuff like that. And I would hear them walking around when that came out, and they were younger then. And here they are small, and they're walking around singing Here Comes the Sun. And I'm like, okay, I know I haven't played that for you guys. And then I come home from the studio and see them playing Guitar Hero, singing at the top of their lungs. Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do, and they're singing it. And it was just crazy to me that they had learned all of this old, like, 70s rock and roll music, that they had no clue when that music came out, and whenever they hear it, they would automatically say, oh, why are they playing this music from Guitar, from Rock Band or Guitar Hero?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about age, we've used the word old, but I mean, it must never get old when you guys go out on this. I mean, you're touring now, you go out on the stage, the crowd is going nuts for, those songs from back in the day. It never gets old, I must imagine.
No, it doesn't get old. I think that's the most fun I think we have is being on stage and singing those songs and watching, like Jamie said earlier, the reactions of the fans and just trying to give them the best experience and nostalgia of hearing those songs live. So yeah, it never gets old.
Well, Jamie, you guys have had tons of tours and concerts. Like, what's the wildest thing somebody or that's in the audience or that's happened on stage? What's one moment that sticks out for you going, oh, damn?
Maybe we were in Indonesia, and, we are notorious for bringing up a girl on stage and serenading her. And so we brought up this girl, and the hardest part was, there's that language barrier.
Yeah.
And I don't know if to this day if I really understood properly, but when she said her name to me, when I asked her, I said, sweetheart, what's your name? And she just, the thing is, it wasn't her name. It was just how she said it. She yelled it. She's like, Tootie. And I said, Tootie? And I'm thinking, wait a minute, Tootie from the Facts of Life with an M in front of it? Like, but Tootie? And the thing is, when she said it, she like yelled it. And all the guys are sitting there singing, and they're starting to laugh on stage. So, of course, me being the clown I am, I said, I'm going to say her name every chance I get and see if I can get one of these guys to, like, crack, and I start saying her name every other word. It had everybody laughing the way I was saying it, so I just tried to say her name as much as I could to see if I could get these guys to stop singing because they were laughing. And by the end of this little section, like, the guys are not singing, they've got their backs turned to me, the band is playing wrong notes, and we were just having a good time. We weren't making fun of her. She was laughing and having a great time as well. We were just, just enjoying the moment.
And you guys wasted no time getting back on tour when things started to reopen. I mean, it must be a great feeling to see more and more concerts booking, people swiping up those tickets. Delius, I mean, you're ready to, you're on the road. You guys are out there.
Yeah. We're out there, and it's a lot of fun. I think we just did our maybe 7th show since June, when we finished in Hawaii and Vegas. And yeah, we're excited to get back out there and see the fans, trying to be as safe and precautious as much as we can, but definitely want to, not another whole year of not seeing them. So we're glad to be back out there.
Absolutely. So, Jamie, all of the tour info, music news is all on your website, right?
Yeah, we have all of that if you go to the tour tab on our website, and it kind of has, where you can see us next. As Stu said, we're trying to be as safe as possible and get a chance to go out and hopefully bring some smiles to some folks.
And this is what we can tell people, right? If you guys stay safe, no more Zoom concerts. You can see them in person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we want to encourage people to get your vaccines. We want to encourage people to just, wear your mask. Be safe, because, the only way we can be able to continue to tour is if everybody is healthy. We don't want to see anybody sick.
For sure, absolutely. So the website address for everybody is
all4-one.com.
All right.
Also find all of our social media. We have tabs for all of the social media pages there as well.
We'll be sure to check it out. Well, Jamie Jones, Delius Kennedy, thank you so much for joining us. It was great to chat with you guys.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, man.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate, at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate, at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
Jeremy Bradley here, back with Bonnie Winters, who, as you just heard, is excited to do another segment with us, everybody. Let's talk... Oh, look at this, Bonnie. I just pulled the card. We're going to talk about sex. At what... At what age should children start to learn about sex? And how much of that should be taught by parents and how much should be taught by the schools?
I think the school should stay out of it.
All right. Do tell. Go on.
that kind of thing should be taught at home. Parents should be teaching that to their kids. And, I don't think the school should be getting involved at all. But, hey, that's how I was raised back in the day.
And she only had 3 children out of wedlock. I should point out, everybody, that...
3? How'd you know that?
Yeah, but just in the way, because I remember not too long ago we had a segment where you went, what did you call parenting? What did you call it? We'll have to play it back. But she had some choice words about parenting. So would you trust parents nowadays to do a good job on... Okay, so yet you still want parents to teach their kids about sex.
Well, what can I say? Everything's been kind of going off on a whole different rant now. So it depends on the parents, I guess. But my gosh, I'm what can I say? There's going to be parents who think that school should do it. There's going to be parents who want to have complete and total control of it. But you know what? I come from a generation where my mom only worked part-time at Christmas to help with the Christmas gifts and things like that. Otherwise, she was an at-home mom. So I had my mom there when I came home after school every day. And Dad was the breadwinner. And it was a great way to be raised. And it's really a shame that that has changed so much. But, it's hard. Parents have a full plate. And I give them a lot of credit for what they do get accomplished with their kids. It's not easy.
Okay, so you still so after all that, a lot on their plate, you still want them to do it and not the schools.
It's a very personal, private thing, and I think again, not all parents are loving parents, caring parents. You have some real terrible parents out there, and that's unfortunate. But for the most part, I think a lot of parents are really loving parents. And again, my parents weren't divorced, and there are a lot who are nowadays. So I'm really not the person who should be talking about that kind of stuff in this day and age. I'm from a totally different generation.
But I'm asking opinion. You're old enough and mature enough to have an opinion, though. So who taught you how to satisfy your man?
And I didn't even have the internet to go and, I'll tell you, friends come in real handy. And back in the day, everything was word of mouth.
Yeah, buddy, yeah.
You want to learn something, you go to your friends. And, okay, what have you heard? Oh,
no.
I heard this. Oh, you can do that? Oh, I didn't know that. Who told you that? Yeah, there was no going online, and if anything, if we could get hold of a Funk and Wagnall kind of a
God,
book.
the encyclopedia people.
Nobody knows what Funk and Wagnall is anymore, I'm sure. Encyclopedias,
yes.
They were the best encyclopedias ever.
I'm gonna.
And they had pictures. That was our internet.
So so you're saying that friends were handy and it was word of mouth.
Yeah, you're a nasty guy. I know you. I do. You're terrible.
Just recapping the words you said, Bon. Okay, so what? Quickly then, let's talk about anatomy, because did you know on the radio, this was a couple years ago, I don't know if it's still the case, but on daytime TV and radio, you were able to say the word vagina one time, and any time after that, you were bleeped.
Really?
Yep.
Why did they let you say it once?
You could have it during, like, let's say, a medical discussion or some kind of, but any other time after that, you would get bleeped. And same thing with the word masturbation. So what do you think about that?
Well, what can I say? I guess you heard it once. Who needs to hear it again? I don't know. I didn't know about those crazy rules. Gee whiz. Don't ask me stuff like that.
Finally, then, because she's so caught up with technology and apps, when it comes to, we've got about 4 more minutes, Bon. I know that you're just itching to get another glass of wine. When it comes to dating apps, and you know how there's this whole like swipe left, swipe right, you know, it's very, you're basically judging a person on one photo, and then, you know, that you're deciding whether they're the right person for you or not, and, you know, you swipe them and then they're gone for good. You never see them again because they're ugly, most likely is why you're doing that. So when it comes to a dating app, would you prefer that if somebody is not interested, the app tells you that, or would you prefer if the app sugarcoats it? And by that I mean, do you want to be told directly that you're blocked by somebody? Or would you rather have like a general message saying that this person isn't accepting messages at this time?
Oh, I would rather know right off the hop. Not interested, period. Oh, okay, that's fine. I mean, really, if they're not interested, then obviously there's somebody else out there for them that's, you know, more conducive to that person's personality. So, I mean, it's not a shameful thing, or you're not being rejected as such, but there just isn't a link for that person. There isn't a connection. So why would you want them to waste more time on you? You're certainly not going to want to waste time on someone else that you don't feel a connection with. So, and besides, you know, it's hard enough even when you meet people face to face. Even when I met my husband, you know, it was hard. It was hard enough to know if he was the right guy. But gosh, trying to figure that out on a computer, gee, you know, that's not easy. And I know a lot of people who have actually gotten married. And some of my best friends, closest friends, have actually met their husbands online. So, you know, I mean, you certainly can't dispute that it does work in some cases. Others can be, you know, terrible, but anyway.
Well, there you go. Well, as you heard, I mean, she did the word of mouth, and that's what kept her married for, 75 years now, everybody. She is. We've got a minute and a half, Bon. Give us your 3 dating tips.
3 dating tips. Huh. You're asking me.
Yep.
You dated back in the 60s. You're asking me.
Yep.
Come on. Like, anybody wants to know that in the 21st century?
Well,
seriously?
What's changed, Bon? You've pissed away 45 seconds, so let's continue on.
Well, I don't care who you are or how old you are or what your situation is. If you're putting yourself out there to date, I would say the number one thing is be kind to the person you're with.
Oh, shut up. Next.
Yes, you must be. You must be. You do not make a person feel devalued. I don't care who you are or how much you don't like the person.
You were so clueless.
Well, not really.
Third one, 30 seconds, Bonnie.
Well, you know, the second one. Have fun. You got to bring laughter and you got to have a good time and don't be so serious. You know, this isn't a lifetime thing just because you're dating the person and you want to, you know, see what the fella or woman is like. Just have fun and don't be so serious.
Remember, it's not necessarily a fella or her. It could be a they or them.
What? Oh,
we want
to get a grip. Get a grip.
We got to go. Bonnie Winters, thanks very much.
And don't ever lie. Got that? That's number 3. Don't ever lie.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on the show. We really took you on a tour there for this 30 minutes, talking about 9/11, laughing with All-4-One, and then getting a little bit creeped out by hearing your grandma, like Bonnie Winters, talking about sex. Nevertheless, that's how we roll here at The Scribble. Feel free to give me a shout anytime. It's always awesome hearing from you. My email address is live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com. If you have a question, you know, we do that segment, Ask JB, so it's often about relationships, really. send an email, because I like to sort of put it out there, and then when I get your email, I really do read them, by the way. I'm old school. Don't tweet me or whatever. I really don't give a shit about social media, but I read the emails. I bounce them off our team here. We discuss it, and then some of them we put on the air, and then people actually do email in with their thoughts and reactions. So live@jbonair.com. My name is Jeremy Bradley. Thanks to Bonnie Winters, All-4-One. I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real heat,